Sorry for the misunderstanding here.
No, it's my fault. It's my fault. That's I should have known that 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 Hawaii is a different time. Give me one second.
Yeah, it's 2 hours earlier.
It's 2 hours difference.
Yeah,
Oh God, what happened to?
2 hours earlier
Okay,
than you. You're in California, or you're north of California.
I am in Oregon.
It's the same time zone as California.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're 2 hours earlier than Hawaii until we do the winter, and then it shoots to 3 hours earlier. So it's either between 2 hours or 3 hours. 3 hours is more in the winter time.
Hi, Brett.
This is my wife,
Hi.
Dania.
We've
Nice to
met,
meet
but
you.
it's been a long time.
It's
When
been a
I
long time.
Now, who's now Sophia, I think.
Yeah, we she's changed her name on us.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to get a hold of her. She's a hard one to get a hold of.
Yeah, I don't even know how to do that anymore.
I'm-
Well, have a good time, you two.
If you don't mind, I'm just going to finish up my lunch as we eat. I mean, as we talk.
Okay, that's fine. I actually have some little lunch that I was eating too, some chicken breasts, little things,
Oh,
so
okay.
we can snack
Well,
together.
Before we get started, we can just eat real quick and talk a little bit.
Oh, can we just use all this? I want to use it all. We'll use it all. It's very informal. It's very
Well,
casual. We're not adhering to any advertising or standards at all. Any standards at
Well,
all.
before we start, even though you're recording, it doesn't matter. There is going to be You're going to have to shut it off for long enough for me to show you a clip of something I'm working on right now, but it is not it hasn't been launched yet, and it's still in a rough stage, so I can't really. It's not supposed to get out there, and it's.
Then don't do it.
I'm getting my boss giving me all kinds of flack in the background, but I will show you because it's not finished yet. So, and the music, we don't want to mention the band or the record company or anything because it's in the wrapped up in they're about ready to launch it and they don't want anyone to know about it.
Okay.
But I'll show you without recording it so that you can see what I'm talking about, and then we can talk about AI and everything and reference what I'm doing, but I won't mention exactly what I'm doing. But I want you to see what I'm doing. Okay.
Okay. Do you want to send me? Do you want us to? Do you want me to? Do you want to just email me that and I'll watch it and then we can re-begin?
Well, what you could do is you could go off recording and I'll just share it on the screen with you.
Okay.
And then we can go back to recording. How's that? Is that
Sounds great. Okay, that's great. Okay, so we'll stop. I'll push pause right now. Okay, Ernest and Wong, thanks for showing me that.
Yeah, so I just wanted you to get a sense of what I'm doing without spilling the beans.
yeah. Well, we'll talk around it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We won't give too much detail, but
you get we can get into the how and what is the technology and what's going on with how is that changing the landscape and that kind of stuff. We can do that.
Okay. Well, welcome to my 150th episode of Brett's with Friends with Arnie, Jin, and Wong. Did I get that correct?
Jin An Wong.
Jin An Wong. There we go. We'll put some firecrackers there. We made
Oh yeah, it is the Chinese New Year too. It's the year of the horse, the fire horse.
Ooh, maybe I'll put like I don't know. We'll put a horse on there or something like that. We'll see. We're not gonna get too crazy with the AI on this. So with that, I'm gonna light this joint up because thank you.
And I will eat my breakfast with you as we go.
Yeah, I might have a little snack while we do this too.
Yeah, being casual.
Okay, so this is gonna be a heavy AI episode. We're gonna discuss all the things that first of all, because I'm having to go, this is a big pill for me to swallow this AI stuff, okay?
Yeah.
But I also worked on something last night that was a profile picture they animated for a Facebook, and my friend did it, Hannah Sloan, and it animates her perfectly. And I put a close up of one of my paintings of this oil painting I did, and then I put it through Topaz.
Uh-huh.
I edited it and did a double dissolve on top of if I could share, I'll probably just edit the what I into the video because I basically did I grabbed it, downloaded it from Facebook, I put it in iMovie, I put it through slow motion, and then I put a layer on top where it dissolved and kind of played with that. Then I put it through a Topaz 60 frames per second and upscaled it to one of their faces.
Oh.
And I have a dilemma because I'm an oil man and I really like the way this looks. So I like if I can make a movie like Return to Sender, which I haven't been able to get made for a long time, and other people have sort of taken ideas. We talked about that, but and apparently no one's going to give me money to do it at this point. And the idea of Hollywood that this is bad for Hollywood is I thought at first that's a bad thing, but Hollywood never gave me anything back anyways. They just took anything. So they're not going to, the gatekeepers never let me in to do my movie. So who am I pissing off and to make my movie with no budget or very little budget and through AI and maybe do a version of that. And then maybe someday somebody will give me a budget to do it in real life. But there's also things that are happening where you can put characters and actors in an AI situation that I have to explore because I'm an animation guy. I grew up on Tex Avery, Chuck Jones, Ralph Bakshi, Frank Frazetta, obviously The Wall was a big influence. I always wanted to make my paintings move. And so from cell animation to you've been seeing the gamut, right? You've been in it for like a long time, pioneering, working on lots of different projects and doing lots of different things. And now you are confident about this technology with your expertise and your wisdom and your creativity to go ahead and can I say that you're doing your first feature film?
No, it's a music video.
Okay. So this is what I got. We'll try to see if a better version, but I really like the way this turned out. So let me see what you think.
Is that all AI?
Okay.
How did you put that together?
Okay, thank you. Somebody just dropped off a package. The thing is, I really this is the crux, man. This is one of the reasons why this is a huge conversation because I got pros and cons about doing stuff, but this is a picture close up of an oil painting.
Oh, it's a painting.
A painting.
Okay, because I thought it was a photograph. It's a painting.
Yeah. That I did that looks really good before I upscaled it, but then I put the 60 frames per second, then I did a little face, and then the dissolve, and it looks fucking really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I could make a whole painting look like an oil painting, I would be probably one of my life's wishes, or before we even got here, was to be able to make my paintings move.
Yeah, you can do that.
And so and I like the muddiness of it or whatever. And if we can make that, then maybe you can get me cahoots in the right direction to do Return to Sender as this.
Right.
But I really like the way she turned out. It's very mesmerizing. She's my dream girl. And it came together really, really nice. And I like the little, I'll put it up on the screen so people can see it. I've seen it better, but I like this little, you could see the strings in the hair, like the very lightly, but that was just without trying. If I try.
Right.
Okay. So there's a lot to cover here. We'll go through it, but also what I'm hearing is that the amount of water and power that this stuff takes is going to destroy the grid, or because a bunch of, I mean, where does this go? Does this start getting so smart that they start using us as batteries? I mean, where does it go? Because where's the energy, the water cooling down systems, the farms? This is all very bad for the environment as well.
It is, and it is a problem. And the AI technology industry is doing their darndest to get out of the water problem, because they know that that's going to be a problem if in the future. So they are using, I mean, they're trying to look for other alternative power sources, even talking about hydrogen or cold fusion, things like that, which is on the table. So as much as it looks dark and it could be very bad for the environment, at the same time, these guys are working hard to try to figure out how to circumvent that and come up with some other way to fuel or run these AI, what do you call it? These AI centers? I'm not even know what to call it.
Matrix.
Yeah, the Matrix. It's kind of like a Matrix.
Basically, where are we going to put our Matrix at?
Right, and the Matrix requires a lot of water and all that, and they're looking into other forms of power sources besides water, and they're already saying that there are ways to use a lot of water, and there's ways to reduce it down to a little water, and they're working on it. So we're hoping, and I'm hoping, that they figure out a way to keep that AI moving forward and not be hurting the environment by using too much water to make things happen. And so that's where I see we're at right now. We're at a kind of a turning point that I remember when in Tron, when we first started Tron, it was that turning point where CGI was starting to be taken seriously, and AI is now being taken seriously. And there's going to be pros and cons, and there's going to be people saying that, like back in the digital CGI world, they remove jobs, and all the hand, all the people that did everything by hand is going to be out of work, and that all did happen, and people did reinvent themselves to do other work in the industry that they couldn't do because now CGI does all the work. And same with animation. We didn't even realize that they could start inking and painting digitally, which sort of threw the whole ink and paint department out the window back in the 80s, and that was in the whole industry that had to reinvent themselves, the ink and paint industry in Hollywood and Canada and you name it, everywhere. And there was other things that CGI removed as far as the human part of the work. And now AI is doing the same thing. It's removing time. It's taking what took a week down to a day. They're taking things that took a day down to a minute, and it is doing all the heavy lifting, in betweens, all the stuff that we did by hand, and CGI kind of did that too. But CGI still had to have people, with code and learning how to use, Maya and all the different apps, and they weren't easy to learn, and you had to sit there just to even make animation move. You still had to build the character, put all the joints moving, mocap, all that stuff before you could even get to the 3D, CGI, as you would see in like Toy Story. But AI has removed that from the equation. It says no more in-betweens, no more worried about, ink and paint, camera. We can fly the camera inside one eye and out the ear. That's not a problem anymore. And what you were saying is that you can take a person, like a photograph of you, not even a video, but just take a photograph of you, front, side, and back, and then there's a model sheet. AI can take anything as a model sheet. It can take your photographs, it can take your paintings. As long as you have the angles, it can actually turn it around. If it doesn't know what it looks like from the rear or something, you have to do some kind of sketch or something like
360 pan, 360.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be clean. You have your first painting, the one that you did, right? That's a front view, right?
Yeah.
You do that painting, you have it already. So then what you do is you ask it for a side view. And if it doesn't look right, you put it in Photoshop and fix it. Put it back in place. Yeah. And then 3/4 back, 3/4 front. All those angles, you can have AI just sort of like, give me what you got, and then come back, put it in Photoshop, tweak it, and then you can even draw over it and go, this is what I want. And then AI does another version and it gets closer. It may not get it exact, but you kind of go, oh, yeah, but ears are a little, you can either give them an example or literally say it in a prompt and say, shorten those ears, things like that. And it will keep it in the style of your painting, because what you did was take the painting and you say to AI, this is my color palette. This is my art style. Everything in this painting, everything that I'm doing here is going to be in the picture. Whether you draw trees or, it's all going to match this style. I want everything to be this style. And so then AI goes, okay. So when you do the model sheet for her, he's going to create an image of her, front, side, 3/4 back. And then from there, you can clothe her, put, hats or whatever you want on her, and then all that. And you can actually do it in, it'll look like the painting because you already set the style for it.
Yeah.
And you've set the look for the model sheet, so you can turn it around now. And based on that, it will take live action mocap, already, gazillion examples out there, and it'll do whatever you want it to do. You can have her walk, run, swim, surf, because they have all this reference already. AI already has, it will make it do whatever you want it to do, but it'll do it very realistically because AI is able to grab live action and convert it into animation, into 2D or whatever, whatever you want it to be. But if the movement is coming from the live action world as a reference, unless you decide that it isn't. And if you decide it isn't, then you got to go into AI and go, the way you're changing everything and making it look real, I need to change that up a little bit. I want it now to be a little squash and stretch. I want it a little bit, this and that. So then you're going in deeper. You're going, every time you go to want something your way instead of AI way, you got to go back in deeper and you got to keep tweaking it. And then whatever you tweak becomes like a formula or a equation, but it's a prompt because everything's prompt, everything's written. You can provide drawings, and right now I can do my rough sketch like I did in my storyboard and move that up to the next sketch. Then from that, go to the AI, and then you can do it that way. And eventually we won't even have to do that part, but right now we're at that crux between people just sort of going, what is AI? And then people are trying to go, oh, AI, I could try to get this done on AI, but we hit walls, and animation is probably the last wall because live action is so easy in AI. It could literally, like, take a photo of you right now and just have you walk around the room because it can literally capture based on reference how to get you to look so real when you're moving around. But animation has a certain art style. It's it's either Disney or it's Yellow Submarine. I mean, once you have an art style, all of a sudden the AI is like from the gazillion references, and now has to narrow it down to just the Yellow Submarine, and it has to try to figure out, what do you mean by Yellow Submarine, and how do I make that look like Yellow Submarine? It's not as easy as just make them look real, because then you can see they make people real pretty good, So that's kind of where AI is moving, and is moving faster and exponentially. Every couple of weeks to a month, a new software comes up and goes, I'm eliminating that last one that had a limitation. Now you can do it this way. It keeps going that way. And I don't know how far it's going to go, but I have a feeling it's going to reach 2001 when you just say, hey, how's life? Sing me that song, Daisy. It's going to, where you just talk to it, forget the prompts anymore. It's just you talking, or you sketching and going, see that? I want it like that, and then your directorial, art direction, script writing, all that good stuff is still intact because you're still telling it what to do. You're in the driver's seat. AI is just the millions and minions in cyberspace doing all your bidding for you. Everything from, hey, get a tank from World War II and put it behind me. Boom, boom, is there, because it doesn't take long for it to find World War II tanks, But, try to give me a younger version of Blue Meanie, and it's going to have a little trouble trying to figure out how to do that. It might get something close, but it won't be as easy as grabbing stuff from the Google, basically from all assets that exist out there. AI is able to get it. And that's where the world is changing, is that however you used to do things, filmmaking animation, graphic novels, you name it. We have to reinvent ourselves, just as we did back in CGI in 81. And those who can reinvent themselves will be able to move forward. And eventually, you'll be able to make your own feature film just by yourself and maybe a few people. You know, you maybe want some specialists. Maybe you don't want to deal with all the little tiny other stuff, and you get couple other people, but a small group. I mean, I think a feature film is on the brink, and I think people like Disney and Pixar, they are scrambling to try to not end up being the guys with the giant 50, $200 million movies when you're this guy over here, in Oregon is making a feature film for nothing, with the apps and their own devices, making a feature film for almost zero. I mean, it might be something. I mean, you might spend a few $1,000s or something, but it's not like $500 million. It's going to be a different landscape. And what that does is that it puts the people with any kind of cinema background like yourself and me at the advantage at this point. Because just like in CGI, in the beginning, it was still the people that understood filmmaking and lighting and camera moves. We're still be able to manipulate that 3D stuff until the 3D became so more easier and easier and easier. And now, like you're saying, you just type in a prompt and show them the painting, boom, it comes out like that.
Well, sorry, I didn't have to do anything for that. Whatever. And I was going to see if you knew what that profile animation that Facebook is doing, because I could look it up, or what, because I didn't have to do anything. It was just a photograph of a painting, and it looks. I'm perplexed because you have to understand this is really fucking with my brain, because the whole, for me, filmmaking, I'm almost gonna cry, is like such a collaborative project, and the things that happen in the moment that are being done when we're filming with a talented people, I don't know if those moments are going to be lost because of this, because I enjoy the aspect of filmmaking, and I think this is a less pleasurable aspect, even though you will get a result that might end up taking it. Just is such a, like, and I understand all the different, there's black and white, went to color. I mean, we could go through the laundry list of everything, but so new media, but and because I got really sick of AI slop, and I also know that this is the very beginning, akin to the first cell phone or whatever. There's many ways to dice this apart. And so I don't know why I'm having such a fever of reluctance to do this, even though I shouldn't. My friend said there is no reason why you shouldn't be trying this as an artist.
Well, imagine this, Brett. You get like, say like your film, what's the name of it?
Return to Sender.
How many in the cast? Main characters?
7.
Okay. You get the 7 characters. You get your 7 actors. You act all your scenes out just the way you want, but it's just in a room. You just cut. You don't even need to, you can just give them full shots. You don't even have to cut cutaways or anything. Just get them to say their lines. They're saying their lines, act them all out, blah, 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 on video. Then you drop all that video into this mocap app. Boom. All those characters, everybody can be now converted into a rabbit, into anything you want. And painting, your painting, they can be imbued into that painting. That's where AI is going.
Yeah, because it's been so clean, and it just reminds me of that, when Photoshop first came out, and everybody, I met a few different artists, and it was to my bewilderment that they would project a Photoshop image that they created on the computer onto a canvas and then trace it and then call it a painting, because it looked so, it didn't have the human hand, I guess you're
not touching it.
Yeah,
you're not touching it.
It doesn't have the foibles of human, the texture of the hand. Sorry.
See, the Navajos knew it when they made their pottery. They always made a tweak at the bottom, because humans aren't perfect. They always make an imperfect piece in the back of that piece of, and that's the thing that makes it human, is the error, the human error. That's why the drawings look more human, because they have errors in their drawings. They're not perfect drawings. They're not perfect in betweens. They're hand drawn, so that the lines are kind of, there's a little bit of give, and that give, okay, that gets a little more human, touch. But for me, like what I'm doing now in my AI projects, is that where I put the humanity and the soul and the humanness in it is how I tell the story, and how I use the camera, and how I make the things move and flow, and how I impact, how better than I that to get a scene to work, and somebody says some line and then boom, there's a moment, that is what you're trying to capture. That's more important than whether you drew it or didn't draw it, but you captured that moment, and whether you use an actor to do it or you do it by prompting, whatever it is, you're still the director, you're still the art director, you're still everybody, the cameraman, everyone, everything. And you're directing, and AI is the gazillion millions, the minions. They're your minions. That's what they're there for. Well, what do you want?
Well, my big thing is composition and actually having it filmed. I've been doing a little bit of I've been tinkering, around with these ideas because, I don't know, I don't know. It's been kind of like, but it's like, hold on, wait, what are we talking about here? But gosh, I almost lost what I thought, but I the composition.
Yeah. Composition.
And having it filmed like a 1990, a movie made in 1999, and have the same, what were they shooting on? Like Saving Private Ryan came out that year. Yep. So it'd be akin to that kind of photography. Or like with because I it's based on Dog Day Afternoon, but I wanted to keep it shot in the timeline of which it would have looked like, and the camera movements that weren't used yet, not used for that. Use the camera movements, the dolly, the shaky camera with a drill bit on it. Forrest Gump, style. And this makes my brain just go bananas because I've worked so hard trying to get people to play with me, and now you're telling me that I don't need to play with anybody, I need to get surrounded by the right people, right actors, and the tech guys that would be able to help me with this. And
what is saving you is having to build sets, having to create environments, costumes, everything. That all can be done with AI. All you need is the body, with the expression, the body languaging, and with the body language, which you direct.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work, you just draw over it and let the AI figure out how to solve the problem.
So would you compose your shot? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's kind of important. But would you compose your camera shot for the angle that you want the AI to use? Or are you saying just shoot everybody standing up like this?
No. No, like AI, like CGI, you have to build all the characters first. But building the characters is so fast compared to CGI building the models, and the rotation points and all that stuff that makes the 3D work. You don't have to deal with that, but you still have to have a model. And just like in 2D too, you need a turnarounds, because it needs to see where, how it's going to turn it around and move it around. Outside of that, it can do most of the work for you as far as things like walking, running, things like that. Now, because you have an acting scene, then you use that mocap. Right now it's a mocap, but in the future you probably won't even need the mocap. But then you have everybody in a room, and the main thing is you storyboard this thing as close as you can to the right angle. And if you're doing a camera rotation, you do the storyboard and show that rotation so that AI can see what you're doing with the camera.
Yeah, I've got some storyboards already, and I was thinking about just using that my brother sketched out. And that would be hilarious. What would I use what would you recommend? What app would I try to locate to do that?
We start with, these are the steps that I'm taking. So I do all my drawing. First, I draw it by hand. I just sketch it all up. Then I put it in Procreate, which is it's a digital app that I can draw on a iPad. You know about those?
I know about them, but I don't have one.
Anyway, Procreate allows you to draw with a electronic pencil onto an iPad, and it works just like a Cintiq, and you can just draw. You can literally draw, and it gives you different kind of brushes and all that stuff, just like Photoshop, except you're actually drawing on there. what I do is I transfer my drawing into this, and then I tweak it with some color and make it a little bit better, and then from there I take it to Mid Journey. Now there's many different varieties of Mid Journey, but right now Mid Journey is kind of the most used one. And what Mid Journey will do is they take your drawing and build you a model, and you can turn the model around. If you need more drawings to get it, then it helps you build all your characters. You can design them any way you want. You can put them in Photoshop. All these different ways. So eventually you have these models, these characters. They're all your characters. Then you have your scenes, all your environments. You want to, out in the desert. You want in the city. Oh, you have a room. You design the rooms by just saying, hey, I want a room in 1940s style, film noir, like, that Detective Malone, it's kind of like the movie so-and-so, because then AI will go look at that movie, or use reference to that movie to help you, and you can say, oh, I like Martin Scorsese, so I like his style, so when we start moving and, shooting, I want that camera and I want that lighting to be like him, so you keep mentioning it. And then when they start shooting, when they start moving the camera and stuff, they're going to start adding in the things you keep asking it to do. And it's constant, you're constantly tweaking. So what it basically is, you take your idea and you just throw it on the wall and see if it sticks. And you keep throwing it. And when that sticks, that's the one that AI will do. And then you go and you see what AI just did with your thing that stuck on the wall. And you go, yeah, it's almost there. Now fix that, fix this, fix that. And then bring it back and forth, bring it back and forth. And by the time it reaches the point where you're there now the model looks pretty close, 90%, maybe. You're never going to get 100%, but you'll get 99, you get pretty close, maybe even do better than you were thinking, but whatever it is, it's all done. The models are done. Midjourney's ready. You got your backgrounds. Then you go to another app. This will do the motion map. And that I use neural frames. Neural frames will also match the music. And also it will, it's a timeline edit kind of thing, it's kind of like your the one that you use for editing. What was it?
iMovie. Super simple.
Yeah, like iMovie. It plays the iMovie part, but you can also have something on the side like iMovie, or I use Wondershare. Filmora. It's really cheap, and it's one step up from iMovie, but it's below Premiere and below Final Cut. It's in the middle. It's kind of easy to use. It's not complicated.
iMovie is so easy. It's ridiculous. I can do it blindfolded at this point.
Yeah, right. So if you want to try a free trial, try Filmora, Wondershare, and just try it, because it's just like one step up from iMovie. It has a lot more stuff you can fool with, and it just gives you more options, and all the different kinds of dissolves, all the all these different things that you can just pull and drag. It's pretty simple. And I learned pretty quick with it, because I couldn't even figure out Premiere or Final Cut. It was like too much for me. I was like, oh, but I was able to handle this editing thing, and now it's fun. It's like iMovie, like you're doing it with your eyes closed. It's not that much of a leap, it's just like one step, and now all of a sudden you got all these new toys to go with.
I'm down. I have to open them up. The whole thing about this AI stuff and how it's going is what you said earlier, and I just feel like it's a huge pinpoint of adapting creatively to what tools are available to us, which is what we used when we first fucking started in the first place. So why stop now with trying different new things? I like using oil and water on the painting, so it makes a different effect. So maybe I need to open up. I don't know why I'm so guarded, though. I guess it's you're going and running a marathon, and you're running and you can't stop moving. And now I'm like having to go, hold on, wait, am I not seeing what's happening over here? I need to check this out.
Yes, what it's doing is making filmmaking easier and easier, because you don't have to have the movie studio behind you. You don't have to have hundreds of millions of dollars. You don't have to have a crew that's all professional, sound, lighting. All of that's now in AI. Okay, we're back.
Jeez, man. Do you know what happened? I figured out, because I paid for a lesser instead of paying the $16 a month for Zoom, because I haven't been using it that much. I went to the $6.99 version, and apparently it might be only for 35 minutes that I get this. So I'm gonna have to get the more expensive version if we keeps on doing the Brett's with Friends. So if we go off again, can we just plan on reconnecting? Because I'm sure we go long. You're my
Yeah.
longest podcast. Get yeah. I love having you. This is great. So
See,
what we were talking about, because I looked
yes.
that up. We were
Okay.
talking about. Do you remember? Because I do. Talking about how I like the human hand. How I like that's what the AI doesn't have to can't do just yet, but it's going to be able to put the
Yeah.
fingerprints on things. And my thing is, I want it to look like basically like Brazil. I mean,
Oh
with
yeah.
all the detail, the paper
Yeah.
stacked and everything, like
Uh-huh.
roaming down the hallway, that feel. If they can make it look like it was shot in 35 millimeter, you know, I mean, the thing is that it's maybe not there yet, but you said, I'm quoting you, like it's gonna be give it a year.
Yeah, it'll be amazing how far we will get in 1 year because AI has only been around for a couple years, like maybe three, as far as being out in the outside. Like everybody's out there using it. It just showed up. Like it's just like back in like 1980 when CGI just showed up. And like you said, CGI first came out, it was like plastic. Hair was just big clumps.
They couldn't do
It was
fur. They couldn't
ugly
do
looking.
fur forever.
Yeah, they couldn't do skin. They couldn't do the loose, the translucent skin color. They had to figure out how to put light coming, bouncing off
Make
through
it
the skin, through the bone, back out to create what we call this kind of luminosity of the skin, which before it was just solid plastic with the
Yeah,
light
they
just
call it
bouncing
gummy.
off.
Didn't they call it gummy? They called it a gummy look. It was
Something like
they
that.
did that for Finding
Uh,
Nemo was the first one they did
yeah,
that for.
yeah, oh yeah, and there was a lot of shows. I mean, we worked with the limitations. I mean, there was all these little 3D shows, and even Tron in the very beginning. It's all rudimentary, and that's where we are right now. We're in this sort of rudimentary AI stage, like an embryonic, about to become we don't even know what, because there's so much possibilities. But what we do know is that it has a vast resource of ability to compute and do things for you. And thank God that there's people out there inventing more apps for us so that we don't have to figure it out ourselves, how to make it easier for ourselves. And I still think that the only thing that's limiting now is just our creativity and imagination. And that part you have already. And the advantage you have over everybody else is you have some years of experience in the cinema world. So you know how movies are made, how to set up a script and people and all that stuff. People are just learning AI. They don't know how to do that stuff. So they just let AI do all of it. And of course, AI does do all of that, but it all looks like that plastic hair with the blue. It's to make it look the way you want. You have to think like, okay, AI can do this for me. Now, what parts that it can't do, and then I will go in and do it through, visual effects. I'll bring in some people to do just like a regular movie when you're doing the set when you're shooting. I'll do that in effects. I'm not gonna do that right now, or I'll have that background done in CGI. But that's what AI can do. So it's the same thing. You can build your characters in AI. You can act them all out in a void, it's like a green screen, but it's not because it's AI. And then you can put them in any background you want. And then while you're doing that, you can zoom in closer, and you can also turn the camera and rotate because you're in a three-dimensional space in AI. You're not in a flat space.
My thing is, I don't want it to look like an AI movie where I fly through people's earlobes and up their
Right.
noses.
No, no.
I want to
And
compose the shots like how you're at
right.
a static camera shot and the camera weighs 500 pounds and there's a bunch of people behind it, but it has to take a lot of things to move it. And there's a reason why you move the camera when you move the camera. It's not just
It's
willy
even
nilly.
simpler. It's even simpler because you're just basically locking down the camera and making very slow camera movements, just like like David Lean. You're just doing the sonorama, the magnificent shots, the Kubrick shots, and those things. It's you designing it on your storyboard so that it actually happens. A lot of the work now is make sure that your storyboards are as accurate as possible to what you want. Then AI has some kind of a roadmap.
And you've because I'm gonna have to watch this to edit it, so I'm gonna have to write down the names of everything you told me,
Oh
and I'll
yeah,
put it up on the
yeah,
screen or something like that.
yeah.
But the so those things that you just talked about are the things that would get me to some sort of little clip or maybe a trailer for the film or something.
You're
like that.
right. Yeah, making a trailer was is ideal because AI tends to do really beautiful 5 second clips. You know, it's like if you're going to do more than 5 seconds, it has a little trouble. But 5 seconds does it like without thinking. So if you make your trailer so that the shots are no longer than 5 seconds, then you can just
See,
do every little piece based on a storyboard for the trailer, and it'll do it for you. And then you just have to make sure that the backgrounds match from one to the other and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, but
And
my thing about that is like that 5 second rhythm. You see that in all these AI videos, so
right,
that's what
right,
kind of breaks the wall. I would love
right,
that to go further,
right.
where it's not
And you
just like
can,
it's a 10-second shot or it's a or it's a 3 second or it's a
right.
10 second. The variables and the pattern and the rhythm of that make the scene, not just
Yeah.
like. Did you see the Darren Aronofsky 1776 trailer?
No, I haven't.
Okay, okay. Here's the deal. We're gonna pull this up right now, real quick. I want to show you because Darren Aronofsky. Do you know about any of this?
No, I
Darren
don't.
Aronofsky. You know who he is, though, right?
Not really.
He's done like a lot of really good artistic movies. He did The Fountain. He's done
Oh,
these really kind of
okay.
experimental movies. He did that one with Jared Leto and Connolly. That was a drug movie, Requiem for a Dream. Um,
Oh, okay.
and he's a really good auteur, but he anyways, somebody paid him to do a feature film in AI.
Wow.
And it's called 1776, but it looks like this is the top end of the food chain right now. They gave him the best thing to use. 1776 AI trailer. Okay, check this out. But it looks this is the top, and people are saying that maybe they did this so they'll start normalizing it, they put a brand behind this AI picture now with Aronofsky, who had a pretty good reputation, and people are really giving him a lot of shit for this. But this is the top like way it looks, and it looks. Give me your thoughts, because this is why I was all like apprehensive about Return to Sender, is because he's Darren Aronofsky, and he's got the biggest budget to make an AI, whatever budget you need, and this is what he turned out.
Still unsure of why we fight. We have it in our power to begin the world over again. There is no way but forth. We are now the troops of the United Colonies of North America. Purpose of establishing an independent empire. That's justice. It's not to surrender.
Thoughts?
Did you say that whole thing was AI? There wasn't really any actors in that?
Correct.
Wow. Wow. That he took a giant leap over the CGI plastic hair and the plastic skin. He went like whoop, he just jumped that hurdle. And I mean, those characters they look pretty real. I think the only way to really know how that feels is to see the whole movie in sequence, shot by shot, and how he leads up. But since he's already a filmmaker and he's already knows how to do all that, whatever he can't do with AI, he just has the crew come in and effects teams and everything else to tweak it,
Yeah.
And maybe he might even have a crew of AI artists that are just constantly tweaking it, and making it, because it's all about how many renditions you go over, just like Triple I. I mean, not Triple I. Lucasfilm. What's the name of their effects department?
ILM.
Yeah, ILM. ILM. Back in the day when they were making movies, I worked for them for a short time, and I did that one with Goldie Hawn where all the women shoot each other and they got big holes in them, and I was doing the big hole in their chests and stuff.
Oh,
Something
that was
housewife,
Love, Death Becomes Her.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, I was there, and I forgot the guy's name, Japanese guy that's heading up that department. Forgot it. Anyway, So I said, well, what's the difference between ILM and all the other guys in town in Hollywood and everything? He goes, well, the difference is that everybody else has a budget and they can only go so many editing over things to get it better. Yeah, ILM, we just keep going. You know, we hit 11, we hit 20, we hit 30 edited, and we have the money to keep going until we get it the way we want, because George Lucas has deep pockets. Now, AI is kind of like that, where before we had a budget, we could, even in animation, we only had so much money and so much time. So if we, you know, if we reach a certain point, we go, okay, we have to start throwing shit out the window now because we don't have any more time and we're running out of money and we just got to get it done now. Whereas AI just goes, woo, just keep going, just, you know, and whatever every rendition is not, you know, it's just all it is you did another tweak and you wait for it to render, just like you're waiting for that video to render. And it just comes back another step better. You just keep going and going until you reach the point where you go, now I can live with this, you know, and then you could, on top of that, take the footage and give it to some effects people. And they can actually use Premiere and all the other stuff and throw the shit on top because it's just like footage. And if you want it to be green screen, they just tell AI, I want all these shots to be green screen, no background. And then you have another guy come in and have them do all the backgrounds, you know, like however you want to do it. I mean, you could do it the old style or you could do it the new style. So basically you're still doing the filmmaking the same way, except that now if to save money and time, and all your crew could say, well, I could build this, but it'll take me a week. Why don't we try an AI version that will only take me about 10 minutes? And you go, oh, that's pretty close, you know, like, oh, maybe I should turn it, zoom it in. That's the other thing, is that AI can zoom in and out to any shot that it makes after it's made it. Yeah. You know, and you can go back into that shot and go, okay, now let's try it with a close-up and zoom out, you know, and so it does those things easily without an editor. You're doing it. So I think that it's the only limitation is your imagination and how detailed you prep this stuff out so that you don't have to have a crew, a studio, big buckets of money, lots of time, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get through. There's this. My buddy sent me a thing. There's so many different ways. Let me see if I find it. Let me see if I find this real quick. With that thing that you oh, he sent me a thing. He might have emailed it to me. But with your, how do you feel about the music part of this AI stuff happening with this? My buddy sent me a song, "Living on Borrowed Time" by this AI.
Oh,
like a country song that AI made that he swears he loves this song.
Yeah. And it was all done in AI, huh?
Yeah, but like where's I feel like with even what you're saying about the layers and bringing it to the different positions and layering it like a painting, essentially. Layers until you polish it like a pearl.
Yeah.
And during that process, I mean, I guess it runs the risk of looking overproduced, overthought out, over on So it's working with these elements to make it like different levels of different things to where it actually looks like that Darren Aronofsky thing. I didn't like the way that looked, to be honest with you.
I mean, it was believable. That's the thing. You know, you look at it and you go, oh, I think I'm watching a movie. You know, it looks like those look like actors on a set and they're all, you know, doing whatever they do, you know.
And people, there's so much content out there that people won't really care how the shit's made because a lot of it's free, you know, it's free content that's being created.
Yeah.
So how does the monetization happen? Are careers over? Is this
no,
the end of Hollywood?
No, because now originality is going to be key, because you can regurgitate all kinds of forms of filmmaking from, you know, Martin Scorsese to, you know, Mobius drawings. But then when you come up with an original piece that, say, like another Peter Max that hasn't arrived yet, then you still have that part, because the computer can't come up with something out of nothing.
Yeah.
It has to come up with something based on something. Whereas our human minds, even though we are coming up with something based on other things, we have this idea of coming up with something that we believe is original. And really what it is just your personality of everything you've seen and done in your life. And you sort of channeled it back through your lens. And now it's your version of reality. And that's where I believe that the AI and you can have a nice marriage, because it's not replacing you. It's just providing all the time consuming, laborious, money spending type of things that you don't need to spend, and you can now do it with either yourself or with a small group of people. And you could probably just go on even to LinkedIn and go, hey, I'm working on this idea, and who wants to get on board with this AI thing? Because I got this thing going. And you'll be surprised, and some people are going to go, hey, I'd love to join you and kind of learn as I go to become part of this sort of AI thing, and that's another approach to take this, so that you do have a small team of experts that are doing the stuff you don't want to do, but also you just maintain the creative part of the directing, the art direction, and the acting coach, or whatever, however you want to do that.
Well, it's just
All
to get
that
the
stuff.
fingerprints, really. If I can, like that, the thing that painting that I showed you, I worked on it for, I kind of went into a little. I needed to get to bed till like 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that, because I just kind of went layering it and layering it, and creatively was fulfilling. Because I was kind of playing as a filmmaker, as a movement of eye in the glassy look in her eye has had the reason why I'm even, if it can look like that, because it had soul. When I saw her face in the twinkle in her eye,
mm-hmm.
It was organic. It had a more organic thing. Did you notice that? With it had like this really filmic, and I also did use a film grain on it, and I did use another toner on top of it. And
right.
so there's, like you said, there's all these layers to make that 10-second shot, but it works. The look in her eyes when she's looking at, and I'll share it again. I think I watched that thing half a dozen times after I made it. I was like, how does this is really good, because I could see that is what the Darren Aronofsky thing, that glare, glisten, that's you're alive. That's saying that you're alive. The Darren Aronofsky stuff, if you look at the guy's last image of his face when he looks up, there's none of that still. It's that uncanny valley shit.
Well, that thing that you just said, which is the glint in the eye, is the kind of stuff that an acting coach gives an actor when they're doing a scene, and you go, I want you to get this scene, and here's the feeling I want you to have, and and just do your thing, man. Like, I know you're going to pull off some kind of expression or something, in between, because you're a good actor. And then you go do it. And then you see where those little things that happen, and you go, oh, can you just like tilt your head a little further down and maybe look out the corner, because I think the angle is going to look better on the screen, even though you got the right move, you got the right line, but I need to see it, from another slightly different angle. Now, that kind of direction is the same kind of direction that you'll be giving to AI, except in a different language, and those things you noticed, those little things, are the things that make that AI look like personal. And it is, so the languaging and the way you're adapting yourself as a director, instead of calling out the team or calling out the actor, now you have to look at actually eyebrow little thing, and you're starting to be more and more conscious of every little thing that would make it look more human. Yeah. And you add that in, because AI is not human. And so you have to give it the humanity, and you have to know how, based on all the little tweaks you do, that they're a robot. You're just asking it to do, and you want a robot to start to act like, Jim Carrey, but to do that, you have to give all of those Jim Carrey moves so that it can do those things, even though it's not real. And of course, it's going to be you standing in as the actor with the actor to give it that little thing that makes it beyond the AI, mannequin, and that is how you will be able to make a feature film by yourself, because you can see each character almost as if you're animating the characters from scratch on 2D, because everything has to be drawn in, every expression, every eyebrow tweak, look, all that. And because you do have some background in animation, now you can actually see how to manipulate every frame visually to produce the image of the feeling, the stuff that you can't get from AI. You're actually you're putting it in by hand. It's like you're taking a what do you call that car that the new car by Elon Musk?
Yeah,
What's the name?
piece of shit.
What's it called?
The Cybertruck.
The Cybertruck. You take the Cybertruck and you tear it all out back into a Volkswagen engine, air cooled and all handmade, and then you rebuild it by hand.
Mhm.
You're rebuilding this supercar from a Volkswagen engine, and you're putting your own put stuff in back into that car so it comes back out to the way it works. But now you have control of every part of that car instead of leaving AI to do whatever AI feels like doing.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. And that's the difference between you as the artist, filmmaker, cinematographer, and some other guy messing around with AI.
Yeah, like I already have sort of I have some good tools already based in this in reality or aesthetics that or color or whatever, that maybe somebody who hasn't been painting for 40 years doesn't have.
Yeah, and again, the painting part is just the art direction or what they call the art style.
Yeah, yeah.
It's only one component of the story.
Well, when I talk about paint, also it's not about the paint. It's about a big thing is composition. You know that composition is everything. And so, like when I see some of these things that are 4 seconds, 5 seconds, cut like that. Did you see the Brad Pitt fighting Tom Cruise?
No, I didn't see that one.
You did?
But when you were saying about timing, 5 seconds, once you do those little clips from AI, you can throw it into I don't know if iMovie does it, but mine can actually stretch out scenes and crush scenes into a shorter or longer, and it can actually my window share can actually do little cushions on the ends of the camera can slow down to a stop. Those it can actually stretch out those 5 seconds. They can even pull stills out of them. So don't limit yourself to only what AI can do. There's things you can do to augment the things that AI can't do, just from your own knowledge of filmmaking and how we used to do all this stuff by hand. Whatever the AI is incapable of doing, we just figure out how to do it by hand and just throw it on top. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. It's so crazy. It's just so crazy. It's just so funny because it's just like I want to show you this because you haven't seen it, and we'll try to. But I mean, I'm just kind of this. These are. It relates to what we were saying about. This is also people are working with IPs, borrowing off of things that already exist, right? And so to come at it from my perspective, which would be hopefully an original perspective, using my talents to throw onto this new form. Which isn't an IP. It's nobody. I own it. It's not Marvel. It's not nothing. But people are doing a lot of stuff that's coming out right now. Is Marvel characters and using everybody's IPs, right? Like basically like what was that LimeWire or what was the one that got when they started sharing music and nobody started paying for music anymore.
Oh, right.
So it's sort of like I mean. There should be a trademark law on things, and no, it's all open. No, you want to do this, you want to use, Alfred E. Newman and make a movie out of him. There's nobody to stop you. It's like I don't know where we were like back in the day when we were mixing our movies. We were trying to use we couldn't use music that was already like Beastie Boys or whatever because we'd get sued. Even though we were just students, we were paranoid of that. But that all went away, and that's sort of what's happening now. It seems like look at this shit for a second. Oh,
the world. Pitt and Tom Cruise apparently duking it out on the roof of a skyscraper, but it's completely fake, digitally created with AI technology. And while it may be fun to watch, it's sending shockwaves through Hollywood. There's growing uproar today over this epic fight scene between Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. The A-list actors appear to be in an all-out struggle with an impressive, almost apocalyptic backdrop. It looks just like the movie stars and sounds like them too.
Kill Jeffrey Epstein, you animal! He was a good man. He knew too much about our Russia operations.
But plot twist, it's all AI generated. This filmmaker says he created the clip.
that it was going to cause a little bit of a commotion.
Rory Robinson says he used a new AI tool from the Chinese-owned company ByteDance. The fight scene has gone viral with more than 7 million views. Today, industry insiders say the video is more proof that AI threatens the entire industry. I'm terrified. I hate to say it. It's likely over for us, says Deadpool and Wolverine screenwriter Rhett Reese.
I think people in Hollywood pretty negatively reacting to this, both from a fear standpoint, everyone's afraid of losing their jobs, but also from a consent standpoint. Obviously Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise did not approve their likenesses to be used.
The Motion Picture Association released this statement. ByteDance is disregarding well-established copyright law that protects the rights of creators and underpins millions of American jobs. The AI company said in a statement today.
What do you think about that?
It's all true. It's all true. And, you're not going to be able to, like back in the CGI, when I saw it coming, when I was working on Tron, I said, the world is changing, man. And all those people that thought they were losing their jobs and they all thought the world's coming to an end, And, hey, it didn't come to an end. Everybody did reinvent themselves, and I did too. And but here I am. It's happening again, and this time it's even easier. I can do this from Hawaii now. I don't have to be in LA. I don't have to be sitting in front of a studio inside of a cubicle working just to be part of something. I could do it by here right now, and you could do it with other people that are sitting in Sweden and in Nigeria, and you can be working as a team on anything. And this is where the world's coming to, and all of those things. It's going to be 90% slop and 10% anything worth looking at. And people are going to be able to tell the difference right away, and as long as you have heart and you make sure that your story has a beginning, middle, and end, that it makes sense, it's going to have some teeth, it's going to hold on to something.
Well, that was the other thing is because I'm so confident with the story. The jokes are solid. It's a solid joke, it's a joke, okay. And this is will be a test to see how good of a joke or how, because if it's really truly good, if it's true of heart, and it's and the jokes are what they should be able to survive in any medium. If it was made into a comic book, if it was made into an animation, or if it was made into a live action, so why wouldn't it work in this medium?
Right, not and do a test, find out. In fact, make your trailer with that joke in it as part of it, so you can see if it actually makes sense.
Yeah, if the beat's there, if I can get the punch, if it can have the beat and the
right. And you can, just like in the old days in the radio talk shows when they had War of the Worlds and all that, it was on radio. And the people were talking and you believe what they were saying. You could hear the footsteps, you could have the knock on the door, and it's all your mind is just filling in the blanks, Same thing here. Our mind fills in the blanks. You just have to make sure it's a nice, solid story and it makes sense. And people, there's some heart going on, some personal things that, that pull your heartstrings and make you feel like this, it's really happening. And you care about these characters. That's it. All the rest of it's just technique and mechanics.
So right? I guess that's I guess I'll begin. Maybe I'll put together a trailer.
Put a trailer together and storyboard the shit out of it, and
what I'll just do is I'll just use the storyboards I already have.
Oh yeah,
and I'll go and I'll just get those digitized, or I'll just put those through. I'll look at the different list. Okay, can we do a little recap real quick? What were the three things that you mentioned earlier that I have to put on the thing? You drew them on a.
Well, first you have to sketch something. Yeah, you want to start with a sketch. If you can draw, then do as many of your sketches. Start with whatever your style, whatever you can see it and how you see it in your mind's eye, and then from there you design the characters. Once you have your sort of your idea, then now you have to design the characters. Now you can draw them, or you can take references and pull 3 or 4 different references and say merge these together, or just draw it, or like you say, a painting and go, I like this. Make everybody like this, and then do some variations. And you could even do thumbnails. I was even doing squiggles. I was doing like doodle drawings, and it got what I meant. It was actually capturing what I was trying to capture, the pose, the stand, and even stick figures will help. I mean, it's amazing how much the AI can grasp what you're trying to tell it, you know?
Well, I mean, I'd probably just do the I mean, I'd kind of try to use the artwork that I already have
Yeah,
and
use
just
it.
see what we can put that together with a
And vocalize all the acting, maybe get another person, but or you might have somebody you know that can have a nice acting voice or whatever, and then play out all the roles just like you did what, you know, when you do open script and you just read it, you know,
yeah.
and just read those lines for that little trailer, and then you have all the soundtracks that are just modeled. They're not even, you know, and then you just put it in AI and it'll actually, they'll say all those things when they're telling the joke and everything, and
Yeah.
you'll be able to tell if it's working or not, you know. And if you need to tweak it, you can tweak it until it seems to make sense, you know. But yeah, you can basically do your whole trailer by yourself. I mean,
Okay.
maybe get an AI tech over there from LinkedIn or from anywhere near your area. A lot of the people in AI right now are just like going, wow, 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 you know, like they're just so excited and stoked that they'd be happy to get on board on something that could be a big project like what you're doing. And
Mhm.
you might get a couple of people. All you need to have them know is Mid-Journey and Neuroframe or something like that, so that you don't have to go and learn it yourself. You can just go, now, you know, I'm just gonna give you some drawings. I'm gonna give you some direction, and then I'm gonna, you know, edit and re-edit it over with you over and over until we get it the way I want. You know, that'll save you a little bit extra, and then you focus more on the story and, you know, all the expressions, and, you know, and you can try to find those expressions because AI would love to have reference. You
Yeah.
have a scene with somebody doing the exact expression you want, pop it in there and go, this is the expression, you know, and here's the angle, and this is the person, and this is the design head. Now put it all together, and then AI will give that head, animated head, and everything, say it the way that little clip said it, and because it understands that I can reference. That's what they love doing. AI loves to reference
Mhm.
something that you give it, you know, and then from there it builds. It's called a generator, they call it, you know.
Yeah.
So instead of animation, it's called AI generation, you know, because it can generate live action, 2D animation, stop motion, whatever you want, you know.
What was they used I wonder if AI was used for that last Matrix movie because they said something like something engines. There's a company named something engines that they used for that, and I wonder if that was because that their computer graphics look different than they had previously looked. So I
Well,
wonder if that was AI.
also computer graphics is also evolving too until AI just sort of blew them out of the water.
Yeah.
I think they were reaching their pinnacle of what they could do, and then all of a sudden AI just showed up, and went poof. They just blew them out of the water, you know.
So how do you think this? Besides, we got to figure out the big bad thing about this is the water and the power.
Right.
And as people get more, I guess, used to this technology and seeing it, I mean, do you think there's an oversaturation that this could happen, or is that just where the slop comes in, where something it's oversaturated and it looks like shit, and you're tired of looking at it, and then it might knock off people watching something that actually does, or does that rise
Well,
the cream rise to the top?
look at it this way, Brett. Since we've got our iPhone with a camera on it, can you imagine how many photos and how many videos are out there now? Like gazillion, billion, trillion, you know, but how many of them actually make it for anyone to see that's, you know, like outside of, you know, your personal Facebook? You know, it's not making a film that's going to be a story that people are going to sit or watch it takes a lot of effort. You know, it doesn't, you just can't pop it out of your, you know,
Yeah.
it is, no matter how much you say it, it still requires storytelling. It still requires timing and acting and all that stuff, you know, and it ain't gonna, AI is not gonna just replace that overnight. I mean, they might in the future, but right now,
But not
you,
now.
right now, you still have an advantage over the machine in deciding how it should approach a subject, how to tell the story. It will tell a story for you, of course, if you say, "Oh, give me a, you know, story that's just like the Matrix guys," you know, and they'll give it to you like that. But like you said, it's just a regurgitation of something else. So to have something
Yeah.
original would be something personal and something that really is your, you know, coming from your heart, and it's unique. And there you start with that, and whatever comes out on the other end is going to be good.
So with that in mind, there's like with all the what did you think of that? Just in a nutshell, what did you think of that video of Pitt and Cruz
Oh,
knocking each other up? What did you think about that?
I saw some really bad stuff on Facebook already, and that was probably the better versions of the bad stuff that I saw because they had some really bad, AI fighting that was like Bruce Lee is fighting this guy that he couldn't have because he was dead by the time they were even born. But yeah, that stuff is, but they're getting better faster. Like from what
That's
I saw a month ago, it was like terrible. Then I just saw this thing that you showed me. I went, whoa, they really, that's pretty close. And how I can tell AI is the transitions between moves and but you know what I think they did, and coming from China, so what they did, they gathered all the fighting footage of every possible punch and kick and elbow and you name it, and they put it all in reference. So and they even put names to them: elbow strike, jab, okay, he comes in with a jab, two jabs and a right, and then he kicks them, and then he hits him in the groin, and then the other guy is blocking and kicking and doing, and you give him all the code words that you've already set up, and this algorithm or fighting stuff is already programmed in there, so it's made especially for you to fight two guys or three
Yeah.
guys or four guys, whatever it is.
You can just do it all
They
day
have
long. Anybody you want. Just
they got all the moves down already, so it's just like the avatars, and you're instead of showing it in CGI, you're just talking it, and they do it. And so when I saw that, I said, wow, it's just like when I first saw Incredibles, and that was the first squash and stretch in CGI that worked. Before that, they couldn't even do a squash and stretch,
They
But
still
then,
can't do it. Like the last
yeah,
Fantastic Four, they should have been able to pull it off. The
yeah.
Incredibles is probably the best superhero movie.
Well, it had the actual squash and stretch. I mean, you could see them when they're bouncing, when they're running, when they're doing anticipation moves and all that. Up to that point, I was always going, it's CGI. They're not going to get the hand, the little stuff we get in Mickey Mouse. And then I saw it and I went, oh my God, they did it. They did it. CGI has captured the 12 principles of animation. And I thought they never could, but there they are. They're there.
Well,
And
Elastigirl was amazing. Elastigirl, they can't. No one's done that effect better since then.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they nailed it.
So same with AI. AI has not even matured yet. We're still at its infant stage, like embryonic infant. I can't even imagine where it's going to go, but it's going to go beyond our imagination. But you can ride it like a wave if you just get on the ground floor, figure out how to circumvent, like we cheated Tron, we did 90 minutes of fake animation, the rest was CGI, only 10 minutes, and it's the same thing here. You got to cheat your way around it until it becomes so easy that you don't even have to think about it anymore. But right now, the AI cannot do certain things that you can, and that's where you come in. This is where your unique approach and how you tell the story and how everybody is acting just the way you want, and then that's something that's worth trying out, and you don't need to have a big studio behind you.
I mean, why not? Why not try it out? That'd be silly not to. Yeah. Okay, listen, can I call you back for one more round? Because okay. It's about to end, and I'll re-invite you. We'll do one more round, and then because I want to talk about now that we've talked about this, we can go into the mechanics and how this affects other industries. Would be kind of nice. So we'll take a quick little break. Give me 1 second. It'll have to convert and all that. So if you want to go bathroom or anything, we'll be right back.
About 10 minutes or 15 minutes,
5.
Something like that.
Maybe 5.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Okay. See you in a second.
Bye. Bye. Okay, we're back.
And we're back.
Voice sounds good. The sound, everything
looks good. Sounds good. Okay. You and your mushroom forest are great. Yeah. How do you guys have any mushrooms over there in the islands that grow out of the ground?
I haven't been growing them, but other people grow them, and I haven't had mushrooms in a long time, many years. But the ones I did have, I'm still working on it.
Well, it seems like you found yourself still in the forest.
Yeah, I'm in a imaginary
You actually,
mushroom forest with musical notes floating around.
they left your body a long time ago, but you haven't left them yet. You're still. That's the thing I love about mushrooms is that you can keep it. It's not like it doesn't like like you don't forget. Like you bring it into this world, this reality as well. So I mean, that's a. Well, I always love the you could anyways, mute things into a
Just
negative into a
one
positive.
thing though, one thing I want to say about that is that one time I took some DMT with Terrence McKenna, and in the experience of DMT, I felt that that experience was more real than my world, my reality, the world that I live in, the one that I think I'm in. Was I thought this is reality, and then when I went into that other space, whatever that was more real than this. And it felt like I woke up from this, and this was the trip, and that other thing was me when I'm off the trip. Except I was higher and more aware and more everything. Like I'm like in Lucy, I'm using more of the capacity of my percentage than I was using in my own life. And in that feeling of that feeling of whoa, like I am more of myself or whatever myself is than I am here, in life. And that was a real mind blower to experience that on the other side of that, thinking that, wait a second, which one is which one are we dreaming? Are we dreaming that, or is that dreaming us?
Parallel universes, multidimensional realities, man. Like there's more than what's going on
Oh yeah,
in front of our faces.
Yes,
than what we see.
And maybe that's where AI is going. Maybe AI is going, it's going to connect in, and we can we merge into an AI human existence that is somehow merged together. I have no idea what that looks like.
Is there any way that looks good that doesn't turn out bad for humans if that happens?
Well, when the first ape picked up that rock, I mean that stick, and he went, "Hey, I can hit somebody with this."
Yeah.
2001, Space Odyssey. I mean, every time we pick up something, whether it's a stick, a rock, a wheel, a steam engine, and all that stuff, it has its bad side, it has its good side. It's how we use it, right? And so AI is the same thing. It's not. It's just a machine. It's not even a human. It's an object that makes things. It generates stuff, and if we use it in a good way, of course, we will have a. But if we use it in a wrong way, or if we use it in a bad way or a stupid way, then we kind of end up where we are like today.
Well, what's tripping me out is that the light it must be really sunny where you're at because you're lit up like a light bulb. Because as you're talking about AI, and then we're going to assimilate into AI, you are turning into what looks like AI.
Because I have a plastic roof. It's a clear plastic roof, and the sun just went over the tree, and it's like shining right on me now, like through the roof. Yeah, I can see that. I'm all pure white now.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, it just as you're saying, you're transforming like as this is a Brett's with Friends exclusive. AI, like Jin and Wong became AI sentient just as alive on this podcast just now.
I think we gotta I think that this has a little bit of truth in it, and I think that AI may be the door into something beyond the material world for us humans to negotiate into, beyond what we call the physical world, like we were saying with the mushrooms and psychedelics, and maybe all of this is leading towards something, and maybe AI is the last part of that puzzle that we then merge into a higher state of a consciousness that is closer to what we should be or would be heading for as a species, or as what Terrence would call it, the evolution of the humanity. If we go towards the humanity side, then yes.
That's the whole paradox, isn't it? Like what does this like? I mean, everybody I know is constantly on screens. And so how to
right. Yeah.
I mean, besides like putting the just completely into our skulls, and but that would take away from the natural world and the natural, relationships, and in the and it's kind of scary, man. It's a little,
Yeah.
I guess, got really cold here in Oregon. Fuck, the thing has dropped a temperature. But I'm not getting choked up, but it's just it got a little cold. I was getting a little choked up too. But like, where does it, like, how do we keep our humanity in this? Because we're already sort of losing it already with cell phones. And
Yes.
I mean, people. I mean, I know many people that are like constant. It's like it's a real. It's like, There's a movie called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. It's out right now with Rockwell, isn't it?
I
It's
don't know
a
that
sort
one.
of a dystopian future, and it kind of glosses on that sort of stuff. Pretty good movie. I liked it. But like, it's like, what I mean, this has like serious, serious consequences.
Right.
Either,
Right.
I mean, we're looking at the creative way, which is the positive and stuff like that. But a lot of these people, I mean, if you're going to discuss a good part about it, we should discuss like how bad this could really, like,
Well,
we're already losing our humanity, and we're people and humans are good. I do believe by inherent value that there are more people that are good than bad, but like, I mean, people are also really fucking stupid too.
yeah. I think that what you're saying is that how do we find that balance between these worlds, this AI world
How
and
do we not
our
let this thing kill us, or make
exactly
somebody kill somebody else,
right.
or that
Well,
that
okay.
girl that committed
So,
suicide because
so the,
her
right.
online
So
thing went.
so what AI the good stuff AI we talked about and the dark side of AI is taking away uh, the connection between people because people are getting disconnected and getting distracted by gaming and social media and all that stuff. So they're not having a solid relationship with others. They're more becoming more and more kind of into themselves, but more like inside a box, like a game box or something like that. So the way to bring that balance back is what I do in the elementary schools now. I teach art, and I teach in the art. I teach the value systems: respect, acceptance, uh, responsibility, accountability, honesty, kindness, caring. These are things that I'm teaching these little kids because these are the things that keeps them human. Even though they're going to grow up with AI, they're going to grow up with all these, they're already going to grow up with it. And you can't stop that. But what you can remind them of what it means to respect another person. Remind them what it means to be kind to everything, including nature. And why? Why? You explain why. And these little kids, they're in their second grade. They're going to hold on to that idea when all this shit starts to come up in front of them. And if they don't have a sense of what it means to be good and bad or right and wrong, that's the problem that I see AI can create a society, a whole civilization of people that are just more robotic and just follow along the program and just be another cog in the wheel and be happy and not be what we call create good trouble, and disruptive trouble to keep us human and to keep nature. And like you're saying, taking a heroic dose of mushrooms under a blanket in the dark will bring you back to the connection to nature. That's what Terrence was saying, and that these are the things that if we can't take the mushroom, then at least teach the kids some values so that they understand what it means to be, like what is self-control? Why would we need to have self-control? Things that are not taught in an academic level. These are values that should have been taught through family, through parents, through old grandpas, things like that. We don't have. So our society is lacking that, and it has to come somewhere. And I feel like this is if we want to make a change, that's the change we have to make. We have to make it really important to get the fundamental values back into the heart of what kids should learn, because now they don't need to learn history, science, math, biology, all that stuff AI does for you. You can ask it anything and it tells you, what's the square root of whatever, it build me a rocket ship, and the AI builds it. You don't have to know all the stuff. But what you should know is what's right and wrong, what's good and bad, how to treat people, show respect for elders, things that are like ingrained in how we were able to survive this long. Those are the things I think are now are coming to the foreground of what we need to pass on to our next generations so that they can have a better sense of how to use this AI and also stay human.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I hope all that as well, but it's just like, it's gonna be very, very, very interesting to see because a lot of people are pretty. I mean, you live in a pretty holistic. You not. I mean, you live on the islands in nature. You Tai Chi and all this stuff and teaching art, and you're still going strong. And but like it's like a lot of people don't have that. A
Yes.
lot of people live in a box in an apartment
Yes.
that's
Yes.
on the bottom floor in an attic,
Exactly.
that they check out and just go, okay, well,
Yeah.
all these worlds are just going to go ahead and just live in them. It's been, it's not new, it's not groundbreaking
Right.
information,
Right.
but it's
No.
just, it's like how do, like what changes the pulse of that into such a self-isolated situation in society where
Well,
people
I'm
are,
I'm I'm living out the life that I felt that I need to compensate for my 60 years in the rat race.
yeah.
And I feel like now I'm working on the other side of rebalancing my life with nature and surfing and Tai Chi so that I can somehow find peace, some
Yeah.
kind of sense of wholeness in my life now. And I can't go back to that world that I was in because it doesn't hold that was it the carrot that I want? The carrot that I want is just peace and love and to be okay with myself and to be okay with death, be okay to be balding, all that stuff and to be okay, and that is taking me, what I'm doing right now is what is, and if anything, I just become a model for others who say, oh, I want to do that, but I don't know how. And I go, well, look, I came here and lived in a tree house. I couldn't even rent an apartment,
Bless you.
and somehow I made it, and I think we all can somehow make it towards whatever goal we set before us, that it becomes the goal. Like your goal is to get that movie made, just make that movie. Now my goal is to do stuff like that, but my main goal is to find a sense of wholeness and to find harmony with my wife as the partner that I'm going to live with, the rest of my life. How do I make it so I'm not going to kill her? She's not going to kill me. And we find that harmony together and grow and not grow apart, but to grow together like a tree. Those are things that now become my important things, because I could see that what am I leaving behind, man? I'm not leaving anything behind, So what is the point of me from here on until I, fold over at 100 and whatever, is going to be who I am more than what I've done. It's like, I've already done what I thought it takes to get to what I thought was me. And now I find it's still not me. And I still have to find not me, his, but how does me work in a good way for both you and me and for humanity, and I find teaching kids values is my way of paying back all the riches and all the goods that I got. And I see one kid out of the whole school that wants to become an artist. I've achieved my goal. I don't know where that kid's going to go, but the fact that he wants to be an artist, I did what I was hoping to do, because when I was in first grade, that teacher told me one day I was going to become a great artist. And I never forgot that line, and I never gave up on that idea.
Yeah. It's I'm sort of feeling the same way right now. I'm 56. Is like, I keep on thinking about what I like, my knee jerk reaction still is to go back in LA or not LA, like Venice proper, and try to live there at all, but I'd like to go back there. Not to even now, I'm finding less so to go back to Venice, or and then it starts going back up the coast. It's like I'm less likely to want to go back to Ventura, and now it's like going maybe oh I have some friends I could stay in Ojai at for a few weeks to kind of get out, but I don't know if I want to go any deeper into that. And it's like, or just stay in the Bay Area or do the trek or just actually explore Oregon because the weather's going to be getting better and go to different places I haven't been to yet.
Yeah.
And also, the carrot, like you said, isn't there like it used to be when I was 24 and like hungry and, willing to do, just in the drop of a dime, go anywhere, which you still can as an adult. I think I'm missing that like being able to be free, but you already are. And I've got a cool car now to do that venture with. But the old system doesn't seem to be there.
No.
It's
No.
not well, it's not it's like okay, I'm want to be happy. I just digitized all the 70 hours of footage I shot in 1995 to before we went digital. It's all like on high 8 and super 8, mini DV, the little cassettes and everything, super VHS, all this stuff. And I went through this timeline of seeing basically creating content before there's an outlet to do it, just documenting as much as possible, which people were reacting to cameras differently back then. It was very hard to get people in a natural state, but I did. I shot lots of, but it's sort of like you got to be really kind of stealthy with the camera. But it's funny to have to capture those moments because those moments were, and it sort of just continued on to digital and to podcasts and to movies, and it's just weird to see the different those moments would never have been captured if I hadn't done those things. But to like sit on it for 30 years and then open it up like a Pandora's box and seeing the friendships that you had and the paintings that you used to do or how you did it, where you lived, your animals and all these, it's like watching your whole fucking life, the love, the girl I really screwed up with, that I really messed up, who would have been perfect for me. But I was so in love with the idea of making it, like I had to make it, I had to do my, and so this Stog People movie series is I'm still doing it, but and editing and stuff like that. But it's very cathartic it's like you see your whole life flashing before your eyes. And that's why you should be enjoying the things that you're doing. And hopefully I've been trying to do that all my life, but and you have too, but enjoying your stuff that you're doing and enjoying the fact that you're alive. And now it's like, at this point, it's like, you know what? I just want to, the chill. There's no hurry. There's no rat race. The fun is in the doing still. Just keep on doing. Don't get complacent. And, that's sort of been, taking control of the things you have control over, like with making these films or these projects and having to organize people to do it. And now it's like the shift of like just doing it yourself is like, you know what? You're sort of been doing it yourself anyways, right? Anyways, in a weird way. So it's just another, I guess I don't know. It's the AI thing is I just can see. I had like an aversion to it. Like when I first saw it, I was like, "Wow, what is it? It's not organic. It's a plastic. It's gonna be crazy in a year from now. This is been 3 years. You say since this all the cat.
Every year is not moving it's moving exponentially. Every time we hit a wall in any of these apps, that wall will be eliminated within probably the next app or two. So it just keeps evolving faster than anything we know before. And things, even the cinema special effects world took years to develop. This stuff is happening in months. It's like I can't even imagine where we're going, but I do know that it still requires originality in thought, to have conviction in storytelling. Because if you're gonna make a movie or a story, a cinema or visual, whatever it is, you have to have some sense of story, because otherwise, what are you talking about? Yeah. And that's really going to be the crux. Is you doing whatever you do to make that thing happen and learn as much as you can about what it takes to do it, to communicate with AI so that you're talking in a way that AI understands you and gets what you are trying to get at and what you're trying to create. And it's just you having to do more homework. But in the end, you become the conductor, you become the orchestrator, and you don't need to have a whole team of people that rely on you and need you to pay them to every week, and they need to have, health insurance and all that other stuff, which I used to do when I had a studio. I don't need to do it anymore. It was a lot of work, and it was really horrible when I didn't have work to give them, and they had to like go, well, how are we going to keep going? I go, I don't know. I'm not even getting going. Everything went CGI. What am I going to do? That kind of stuff. And so now I feel like it's just me, and whoever is along with me on this ride, and I don't have to worry so much, and things are happening a lot faster and easier. So it's possible. All I have to do is just beef up on my what I do know and add more stuff to that so that I can direct better and be able to talk to this AI thing and be able to communicate in a way where I don't have to keep going over 10, 12 times. Instead, just go maybe 2 or 3 times and get it right. Just be able to language it the right way.
Have you put any of your cell, like your wave, that wave animation? Have you put any of your animations through anything?
I
And
did.
what would you use to do that? What
I didn't. I just used Grok, which was it's the other version of Chat PBG or whatever you call that.
Yeah. So you put in one of your drawings or your animations, like
I took a surf. I took it. I think I have it here. I can show you off of my phone. I took a painting that I did of a tiki surfing on a wave, and let's see if I can pull this up.
And so was that just you playing with the idea, or did you want to do more with that idea?
I didn't do anything. All I did was just throw it in there and see what would happen.
Well, you just threw it in there. You just threw
I didn't do anything.
MP4
I just put it in. Huh?
You just put like an MP4 of the animation, or
no? I just took a picture, a JPEG. I just put it in there, and I watched it come alive. And it came. It was my drawing. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see.
I think you sent it to me.
Did you see it already?
Yeah, I did. I think you sent it to me.
It was a tiki guy, right? Wasn't it a tiki surfing?
Yeah.
That's the one.
Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. 1 second. Yeah, this one right here. We'll do big. Hold on. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. And you know what's cool is that AI knew how to make him surf. I didn't have to tell him how to surf. But there's enough footage of people surfing now. There's so many videos of surfing that he just was it. AI was able to just take my little surfer and make him do turns, make him, and they made the wave peel off just like a perfect wave, and it's because AI was able to figure out, how waves work and how surfers work.
Can I show this?
Oh yeah, that one too. Yeah, that's another one. Now that one is completely generated by no art at all. I just said I want to have Earth Goddess, and her hair is filled with animals and trees and birds, and that's what came out.
How come it's not playing?
Oh, maybe it's a still. Is it a still? Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. See, AI did all that, and I was just my first. Just all I did was just put it in, and I didn't even have a picture. I just typed in, "make her hair come alive."
So is that yeah, it's a trip because like what establishes those from, because I love the way those looks, but it's still got that plasticky. I like the surfer more than the girl, even though I do like the girl. I mean, I like things about it, but it just has, I mean, it doesn't have the grit that obviously I wanted to put in my stuff, but like or is that like just kind of like when you do that, does it give you, is that your first, or you're just going to your first explorations of this, and your enthusiasm is what really, you're always enthusiastic, have such a great attitude towards everything, but like I guess your enthusiasm, like you're kind of taking this as a, how are you approaching this whole thing? Do you feel like you're creative, like is it like it's a toolkit obviously, or and you've been in the business for, you just have you've seen so many different aspects of shit changing. Do you feel like that this is different than the other different leaps?
This leap is a much more profound leap than the others in the past, because the others in the past took years. Like when I first got into animation, it took me years to figure out how to do stuff. And then when CGI came, it didn't take years, that many years, but it did take a long time to kind of figure out how that worked. And now AI is like, you're learning it pretty quick, but what it can do is so vast. What it possibly can do is so huge that it like you said, it's going to take more. It's going to touch more than just cinema, filmmaking and art. And I mean, people are going to be able to. Well, I heard that you actually build your own app for yourself on your own without having anybody, and that app can be put on the market in Apple and like that. I mean, things like that can be done. Websites completely done without you even having to do anything to it. School dissertations and essays all done by AI, and research is now exponentialized. So they can research the hell out of anything. It's moving so fast that we as humans have to kind of get a grasp on what are the possibilities, and where can I fit in somewhere in here at this level of the game that is expanding, and where can it help me, and also what I believe is important in my life, and also what is important that I believe about life in itself, so that I can have a hold of this technology and be able to create something that I feel is worthy of my input to it. And whatever, if I put something together, I want it to have soulful and feel not AI. I want it to look very, handmade, even though it's still AI, still working on it. But I keep putting my 2 cents into it, and my 2 cents becomes the piece that I'm putting in.
Yeah.
And I may not be drawing as much and putting in every little thing, the paint, the color, the lighting, and all that. But when it comes to the big picture of storytelling and filmmaking, it is giving me more a possibility that I didn't have, which was to be able to make a film that I couldn't do without a lot of money and a lot more time. And I maybe be 20 years younger to do it, but I can do it now. I can do it now, and that is what's exciting me, is that I can finish my own home, my graphic novel, and I could do like this thing I'm doing right now with the music video. I've only worked on it for a month so far, and you saw what I got, and I think I'll be finished in about another couple of weeks, and that's like 6 weeks for something like that I normally would take months with a team of people, and I still wouldn't get it to that degree of quality of every little thing, the bubbles have little highlights, and all that stuff in there. It did it without me even asking. So that's what I'm excited about, is that there's a lot that it does for you, but there's a lot for you to put in, that part of you. Now you got to go find out how much more do I need to learn to get to that language, being able to speak to AI and AI understands me, or do I need to put more drawings in as reference and do more of this? What do I need to do so that my relationship with AI becomes more fluid and more harmonious in me, and I can flow better with it, and I don't have to struggle, and it can create what I would like it to create as a tool, like a pencil, like a brush, like a canvas. And so it doesn't have its own life. It doesn't tell me what to do. I tell it what to do. That's the difference.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's gonna be like with building supply, what was that? I think we done Miko Kyoko, the theologian physicist. He's got the
Oh yeah.
white hair. What's his name?
Yeah. I know you're talking about the water guy.
Yeah,
not the water guy, but he talks about those kind of things.
He talks about like quantum physics and stuff like that.
Yeah, that guy.
Quantum computing.
Yeah. Right.
Do you know anything about that, like quantum computing aspect of it? Because he said that was going to be sort of the next thing that was going to completely change the landscape of reality.
Well, reality, as we know it, still has what we call a location-based kind of thinking. And quantum is being in multiple locations at the same time. It's a kind of a mind bender to be in more than one place in one time. But that's what it's saying, that it can do multiple things at the same time. And quantum physics is, they say, I don't know entirely what it means, but it does mean that it's something beyond everything that we consider what we call reality, you know. And so there's another dimension to this reality that I haven't been able to use or anything, but I understand that it's possible because you and I have also crossed over the human realm when we took the mushrooms and things. We know that there's something beyond. We know there's the reality is as transparent as one bite of a mushroom, and there's so quantum physics. Yeah, prove me wrong, but I think it's just another evolution of us understanding what we're doing here and who we are, you know. And quantum physics is just another aspect to it, just as it keeps evolving. And I think again, we go all the way back down to the core thing: is what do you want out of life? What do you want to leave behind? What do you think is important? And right now, right here, what is the thing that is the best thing you can do to align yourself with your future self, you know, whoever that is and whatever that is you want it to be. And also to know that you're already there right now, and whatever it is right now is, you're just moving towards that that goal, but you're also, the goal of the moment is just as important as the goal in the future, you know. So we're living in a way, we're living the quantum physics by living in the moment and planning for the future.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I can't really expand on that. That pretty much says it all. I mean, that's living in the now, enjoying life and being present and being creative. I mean, I think the fun is in the doing, you know. When you look at the things that, it's always the fun, the adventure or the exploration of that piece of that, whatever you're working in, whatever media or medium, or, you know. So that's fun to keep on having that, you know, that glee, you know, or that intuitive, or the wanting and knowledge seeking of where does this go. And instead of being like complacent and going, you know, I'm just gonna tune out and just fucking sit on the couch and watch, you know, QVC or something. I don't know.
Well, in Dublin, in Ireland, there's the Trinity College that has the illuminated transcripts. You heard of those guys? The illuminated transcripts. They're the sacred books. It's like almost like a Bible books, and the monks there would spend years copying these illuminated transcripts, and they would make these pages. They're about I don't know, 20 by 15 size, and they have handwritten the words that were from the sacred books or whatever it is that they're passing down for generations. And around the borders, they have all this ornate little sketchy, you know, leaves and goblins and, you know, you name it. And there's always some guy in the bottom somewhere that's like the guy drew in. It's a little, you know, weirdo who's sort of peeking behind a tree or something, going, you know, and he doesn't fit in the whole thing, you know. But it's like he just, I mean, they spend like all day long, you know, doing it. And every once in a while, a guy would go, "Hey, I'm going to put a guy hiding behind this thing," you know, like that. Well, that's me. That's me. I'm the guy. You know, I'm part of this whole page that's doing all this crap, but I'm the guy kind of peeking out from around the thing and, you know, going, "Hey, I'm over here." And I'm just sort of, you know, I'm the guy that doesn't follow along, but he's part of the program, and he's having fun.
Yeah.
He's making fun of everything because nothing is that serious, right? I mean,
yeah, you got to keep your fucking sense of humor. I think that's a huge thing. I mean, there can be it's good to keep the child alive.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it takes work. People like, you know, I don't feel like painting, or, you know, but they're not doing anything else. You know, they usually like to like be painting, and then they don't paint anymore. It's like you got to push for it sometimes. And then once you get in it, you're like, oh, this is fun. This is good. Okay, I should have been doing this half an hour ago, or, you know.
Right. So see, my goal, it's kind of a weird goal, but my goal is that on my last dying breath, I'm going to be really excited about what's next. I'm not going to be like, I'm dying. It's over. Everyone's going away. There's no more world. I don't know where it is that I'm heading, and I'm afraid. I'm scared because it's all ending and there's no more anything. I want to be like, I can't wait. I mean, I've already lived my whole life, and there's nothing else working anymore, and I can't even like hold a piss anymore. but my life, this world and this body and me is like coming to this conclusion, and now it's time for something different, and I can't wait because now I'm ready to go. And that's how I hope that I can reach that point and be in that space and not be feeling like I should have did that. I should have did this. Oh, God, I'm disappointed in myself. I mean, all that's bullshit because you're in the last breath, man. You better be on top of it because you're moving into the next realm, and you better have your act together in the next realm. You don't want to walk into that next realm all afraid and scared and talking shit, right?
Yeah, so we saw what you're doing down there. Yeah, it's a trip when you like. Now I'm 56, and it's like, oh, because I know it's so funny because it's like, because especially after watching all the 70 hours of yourself age, like through like 10 years worth of relationships and friendships that come and gone, and people that your best friends are no longer there, and all these different things, and seeing yourself get older, and then they're like just kind of like, oh wow, it's like it's good to still be here. I appreciate every day, but it's a trip when you can see so much of my life has been documented to arrive at this point, being this old, looking now the way I do, and just kind of like going on this, this still doing it, but like I'm not 40 years old, which I'm 50, I'm 56. It's like, okay, well, this is going to be that part where you're talking about like enjoying and doing these things and giving back and also creating, and it's sort of like without the rat race of it. But yeah, this is gonna be the fun. I think it's gonna be pretty fun. It's I don't have anything to prove, or except I need to be stable financially, which is
It's a good
up.
one. I mean, I don't know about.
I've never been stable financially, though. I've never been.
Yeah,
Stable.
me neither. Me neither. I came to Hawaii with nothing. I basically had just enough to live for a couple more months, and I had no idea. But I let it all go. I said, I'm done with that life, and I want a new life, and I'm willing to take the risk of whatever it takes. If I have to push pencils on the corner or do little character sketches in a food market, I'll do it. And whatever it takes, because I like being in Hawaii, and I want to somehow make it here. And I'm not trying to make a feature film. I'm not trying to do another Nickelodeon. I just want to somehow have enough food and a shelter and live in a place that I want to be, and that's happening. And I'm finding that a lot of it has to do with me letting go rather than holding on. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. But
No, it does. It does. It's like letting go of that knee-jerk reaction of having to go to LA when I haven't explored all that much of Oregon as much as I should, and Portland. But instead of like that fever to do that, it just was like, I think that's why the return to center thing is like the AI thing of doing it that way, was because I was so focused on how to make it, and what elements, whom I have to, and appreciating the different ways. But I thought about making this into an animated thing long time ago, but it was going to be too much work. But now I'm like, what, why am I not, you go, it's like running that thing. You're go, 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 go. You're like, hold on, you don't have to go so fast anymore. You can,
right.
You can, because it'll be fun to do. I mean, I did do some stuff with Return to Sender and through, I forget the thing, that it was a bunch of images. And so I read, like, I put like every other paragraph into this thing, and I came in with the visuals, but it was, that was about a year ago. I made an animation of it, but it didn't have it was, I showed to my writing partner on it, Steve Oakes, and he said it looks nothing like the movie. I said, you're right, but in the sequence I could see that the jokes were landing. There wasn't any speak, it was all visual and animation, but the beats, I could see the beats of it. That's intrinsically, this film has been changed. I've surfed my whole life for trying to make this thing, which is silly, but the only thing is I don't like to not complete projects. I didn't, there was a fall. I don't like to not finish a painting. And so, but I guess I'm down to make it any way I can. If this is the way it's going to be, then I guess I'm going to do it that way.
Well, AI is going to open a door for you. And if you want to take it, you'll be able to do your film with AI. Just start, you don't even have to do much. You just have to just follow along the general direction AI is moving, and there'll be some huge what do you call it, like developments that will like change the landscape of AI, and those will happen over the next few months, and it'll just keep, and just know what's happening so that you can see that, oh, here I'm starting to fit in here now because
Yeah.
all this is being done. And all I need to, okay, now it's just prompts. Okay. Oh, now it's gone into vocal prompts. So I just have to speak it. Okay. So you follow along and just keep moving along and do little tiny tests, tiny little, just so you got your finger in it. And at some point you'll go, oh, wow, now I just need a few other guys. I can do it now. It's possible now. I can see it now. I can visualize it.
Yeah.
All the tools are there. I just need a few other guys. It won't take much money. It won't take much time. We can put out a like a little trailer.
You can make lots of little movies. You can make I can make a painting. Each one of my paintings could be a movie.
You could just, and as you keep playing with it, you're going to get a better idea of how to do your movie in AI. You just start to see how the parameters and how much is possible and what I can do. And then you just keep adapting because AI is going to keep shifting, and your idea of how you see the world and everything, AI also has its own, direction it's taking. And so the more you align with the AI, you'll be able to kind of ride it, and like catching a wave and riding it. And at some point you'll be going, okay, I'm in it, man. It's not a big deal anymore. It's not so scary. I kind of follow, I'm getting the idea, and it's getting easier for me. What I have over everybody else is that I have cinema experience. I understand filmmaking. I understand acting and storytelling. And so that's your treasure. That's what you offer to this thing. Yeah. And AI will provide the rest.
I can dig it. I was, I guess I was just like, that's why I called you up. I was like, we need to talk about this shit because it's like fucking what's happening here. Because something, like, I forget what I saw or something, but I was just like, I needed to check it out. And it will take off soon. Just let me know if you need to take off. We can leave anytime you want.
Yeah, I got a few things to do, but you can start with the chat TBT or whatever you call that, or Grok, GROK.
I don't think I want to have anything to do with Tesla if I can help it.
Okay, then just stick with chat and just start throwing your pictures in and see what comes back. And then I think you can edit it by saying, oh, change that to this, change okay. You can also even type in what they have to say, a drawing. You can have the picture of that woman, the painting, and you can say, have her say this line, and then you type in the line, and then she'll actually speak, even though it's not the right voice that you want. At least she's speaking.
I could get somebody to voice her with that.
You can do that too, and there's also a software called 11 AI, I think it's called, and it will simulate your voice by you typing it.
Oh, that's scary shit too. That's crazy.
I know it is. You input all the pronunciations, consonants, and everything into it, and then you start typing, and it starts talking like your voice, and so you can type in the script.
Do you think people are going to start having their avatars instead of like have I been actually talking to you, or is this your avatar? They're already
saying that. Yeah, they said that one out of 6 people right now are having personal relationships with AI, calling them, relating to them as if they're a human, as if they were their friend, and they're becoming addicted to that. That's really happening. I mean,
like that movie Her.
Just like that. It's actually happening right now.
So that's a bad
all
thing.
That's happening.
That's a bad thing.
It is. Robots replacing humans as a relationship, yes, of course, because you don't get the real thing. You're getting a facsimile, a Xerox copy of what a relationship is, and it's not real. And they're going to say everything you want them to hear. So what you're basically saying is that you want only connected to things that only approve of you, and not have any confrontation, not have an argument with you for anything. Yeah.
So that's not good.
No, not. I mean, you need the interaction with another person to find out what's, who you are too. I mean, my wife is always calling me out and shit, and going, "You acting just like your dad," or you're, stuff like that. And I go, "Huh, really?" Like, "Oh my God, I am."
I am my dad. Looking in the mirror.
Yeah. And so AI, AI would never say that. It would say, "Oh, you're so wonderful. You're so great. Oh, I love the what you just said. You want to go deeper into that? Like that's what AI is. They're not there to 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 get on your case, And so that part is missing, and that's a really important part of your self growth and development as a person.
So, but what do you think that looks like with people? We know people are going to fraction off and just be living in their cellars for and just decomposing in front of an Oculus. I mean, is that just the tragedy of some, like the cell phone? People didn't design it to kill you.
No.
But I mean, how many people have been killed by the cell phone? By the first one I think was in New York, where somebody dropped it on the train tracks, and when they first came out, the first reported death was somebody dropped it on the subway, and they went to the thing and not thinking, but like that was like, I guess, who invented the car to people. I guess the benefit outweighed the tragedy.
Or don't look at it for what's good and bad, but what it was just happening in an evolutionary, we just evolving, whether it's good or bad, we just keep evolving. And if we get caught in the greedy side, we evolve down the rabbit hole. If we evolve towards the light side, we become more whole and become a model for what people should be like. It's how you choose this world, which is, it's the dualistic world from evil and good living side by side. We're capable of the worst crimes, and we're capable of the highest good. And which side you want to be on, and how do you do that right now? How do you be that person? How do you live that thing? And then don't forget that we are magnets for miracles. So let the miracles happen by letting them in.
Okay, I am a magnet for miracles, or we are a magnet for miracles. Let them in.
That's it. And when you're a magnet, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to be anything. You're just a magnet, and things just come to you. I mean, they're just attracted to you because that's what it is. Miracles happen every minute, every day, all the time. It's just that we don't see it. So if you start seeing the miracles happening, then you can start appreciating the miracles as they come. And then you become part of this miracle we call life. And then you don't have any downside anymore because you're in the right space, the right time, and the right attitude. And it's all attitude, right?
Yeah, you have to have a good attitude for sure. People have a bad attitude. See, I'm super sensitive.
Yeah.
Sometimes I got to be really I'm trying to be protective of my being right now, because there's a lot of different energies. I've been caretaking and stuff like that, and just a lot of I gotta be stay positive, and kind of like, if that's not in the vibe that's happening, I have to kind of protect myself, and just take a drive, or do painting, or kind of go back into focus.
I got to go, but I'm going to send you this Shaolin monk,
okay,
who has these wonderful words to live by, and I kind of follow it along, and it helps deal with those things you just mentioned. Yeah, and you look him up on YouTube and see what you think. He's very articulate, and he kind of mixes the Asian philosophy and wisdom, also the Shaolin Temple monks' perspective of life and everything, and he lives in America, so he's got this American version of how to say it and how to help you to just get a hold of things, and like you're saying, to get to the point where you don't feel all this outside stuff pressing down on you. It's like duck off the water's back, and you're no longer feeling this edginess, because you become more and more solid as a entity on planet Earth, so you can feel a little more stable,
Yeah, and I'll take it. What's the name of that book?
It's not a book. It's just a guy talking. So I got to send you the link. He got a whole bunch of links, and he just talks, and he talks, and he has good English. He's got a little bit of an accent, but I like him, and I'll send it to. And if you like him, just look him up on YouTube, and he's got a whole bunch of things about things to think about, things to give yourself affirmations about, things like that, which is a little different than Louise Mays and all these other, new age stuff. You know,
You know, it's a
it's
trip.
little bit-
I want to let you go, but you just touching on this thing. You know, I'm a big Alan Watts fan, and
Oh yeah.
I got caught like watching. This is maybe about 6 months ago or something like that. They're AIing him
Oh,
and his
really?
voice, and they've been doing fake Alan Watts stuff.
But it's his
I was
words,
listening.
right? It's his words, right? It's his voice.
His voice is
It's him, right?
well,
I-
no, it's an AI version of his
oh,
voice.
so but then the words aren't his words. Then they just
Correct.
made them up.
Correct.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's
That's a
terrible,
plagiarism.
right? Yeah, well,
That's
they
terrible.
as I told my friend because I was like watching one, and I was like, because I know Alan Watts, I've probably listened to everything he's done like 5 times, and
Yeah.
he goes, well, and then that's why you're not on. You should get off of Instagram, and I was like,
He doesn't.
because I
That was
was
before
feeling weird.
Instagram.
It was feeling weird before he said that, though. It was feeling like not
Yeah,
authentic.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
he said that I was like, "What the fuck?" And I got pissed off. And it's like a whole the thumbnail is AI,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
people are like trying to send me versions of this AI, and I was
Uh,
like, "Dude, what do you? No, 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 no. Go to his website or something. Be everybody out there, please be careful of how you consume that stuff because the
oh,
real Alan Watts is where it's at, and there are AI fakes of things happening everywhere. This is. I gotta let you go. I know, but
no.
we gotta be aware. I mean, I was really like, whoa, somebody's gonna really think that's Alan Watts. I was like, what the?
Well, yeah. Chris Blum, who was the art director on all the Levi's commercials and all that, and he's retired now. To me, he's like he's my guru when it comes to the Obi-Wan Kenobi stuff. And he said AI will not will be a point where you won't know what the truth is. You won't know from truth and lie. You will not be able to tell the difference. And that's when you really have to start thinking about what you believe in is right and wrong, because there's going to be so much misinformation out there. You got to get a hold of what you believe is right and wrong, and stick with that. And like you said, be very careful what you're seeing now, because you know after a while you won't be able to tell the difference. You just won't.
Well,
Anyway, on that,
all
I
right.
got to go.
All right, thank
And,
you.
can you send me a copy of this thing so I have it on my records?
Please, absolutely share it with your friends.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was a great conversation. Thanks. I feel better now.
Oh,
I was
good.
I came in a little bit like this is, but I think very educational. Thanks for your wisdom. Thanks for your creativity. And we'll talk soon. All right.
AI is the new magic brush that replaces the old pencil.
Jin and Wong.
Jin An Wang,
Jinan Wong. Jinan Wong.
like Jin on the rocks. Jin on the
Jin on
rocks.
the rock.
Jin on Wang.
Jinan Wong. Okay, Jinan Wong. Okay. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you. Tell your wife that we say
Thank
thank you for
you.
letting us take up your guys' time for a little bit.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Always
right.
is. And I'll send you that. I think his name is Shi Hong Yi or something like that. Anyway, I'll send it to you.
Okay. Maybe I'll put a little bit on the back of this video.
Okay.
All right.
All
Cheers.
right.
See ya.
All right, man.
Yay.
Take care.
Thank you. Aloha mahalo.
Yep.
I'm gonna wait
Okay.
for you to leave. I'm gonna close it out. But that was thanks. That was great. AI explained. I'm not nervous anymore. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
See ya.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Subscribe. Cheers. 150th episode in the can. All right. So that's it. See you guys on the other side. Subscribe. That was fantastic. Okay. Talk to you guys soon. Be nice to animals. Be nice to each other. Cheers.